Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, guys, we got a video by Colin Cowherd. It's titled Trust or Trade. Colin chooses players he would trade 76ers Joel Embiid for. So I think we're going to be given different trade scenarios. And we got to see, well, if we would do that trade, man. So I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions as we go through this video. If you guys don't mind dropping that like, man, of course, subscribing. If you're new to the channel, guys, we got a goal of 200,000 subscribers by the time the NBA playoffs are over with. You guys can help me get there. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's get it, man.
Okay, it's called the process. This is what Philadelphia did. They called
Trust
it
the process, man.
They tanked for the process.
Fix
And now
this
there's
real quick
stories
here.
after
My
they
apologies.
got swept. What do they do with Joel Embiid? Great talent, like Shaq-level skilled at his size.
Right.
Had some
You guys see me
injuries,
do a little quick editing here.
sometimes plays hard, sometimes doesn't.
Perfect.
So we're going to play a game called Trust the Process or Trade the Process. And Joy is going to give me a bunch of players and situations, and would I trade Embiid for that, or would I just stay with Embiid and trust the process?
It's going to be interesting.
Okay. Would you trade Joel Embiid for Bradley?
For Bradley Beal. Okay. Damn, that's tough. I am probably going to keep Joel Embiid in this situation because for me personally, like Bradley Beal is one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. But, you know, I feel like it's easier to find perimeter shooting in the NBA than it is to find a center as dominant as Joel Embiid. I would much rather, you know, the 76ers keep Joel, keep Ben Simmons, and just trade everybody else for, like, shooters and perimeter players and stuff like that. So I'm keeping Joel over Bradley Beal.
I would trade the process.
Wow.
I think Bradley Beal's the most underrated player in the league.
Yes.
Does everybody understand?
Bro, Ben
about Bradley
Simmons is
Beal?
literally the most
How can you
underrated.
call yourself an NBA fan and not get Bradley Beal? He was second in the league to James Harden in scoring. And that's what John Wall...
Yeah, what was he in the league, though, in wins? How can you call yourself an NBA fan and not get Bradley Beal? Shut your bitch ass up, man. Oh, my God.
with injuries and with backups. I mean, it's not a well-run organization. He plays defense. His points per game have gone up 3 straight years, despite all the chaos. I've been told LeBron
Exactly.
loves
That's literally... You are falling in love with empty stats. Like, I'm not trying to disrespect Bradley Beal, but there's guys whose numbers are going to go up and their teams get worse in time. Like, we saw with Kevin Love, his numbers was great on the Timberwolves, did not lead to the playoffs. He went to the Cavaliers, numbers went down, won a championship. It's like, if Bradley Beal wants to win a championship, his numbers are going to have to go down. Like, he can't be the number one option on a championship team.
that LeBron loves Bradley Beal. I would love to get Bradley Beal in a draft pick, but he's what you're looking for. 6'4", defends, in great shape, played at least 50 games every year, doesn't get hurt, and he appears to still be getting better.
Would you trade Embiid for Andrew Wiggins in a number 2 pick?
Andrew Wiggins, number 2 pick. Ooh, okay. I'm probably going to say no because that first pick I think is going to be Anthony Edwards, and I do think that's the only player that the 76ers really need from this draft because, like, James Wiseman would be stupid because you already have Joel Embiid. Obi Toppin would be interesting, but not, he's not with Joel Embiid. And then you get Andrew Wiggins' contract out of it. Not doing this trade either. Now, if Anthony Edwards was available, then maybe I would consider it, but I think he's going number 1 to the T-Wolves.
No. Trust the process. First of all, they say it's the worst draft ever. So the number 2
Oh, wow.
pick's going to be LaMelo Ball.
Well, I mean, we did not get to see
Was it
a whole lot from
2000
the
the worst draft ever?
prospects. In the
Well,
draft.
Worst ever?
Wiseman he played 30 games for Memphis.
Yeah, and LaMelo is
overseas.
overseas. So
Also, Wiggins is a good player, but his contract is $147 million.
He'd fit right in
So
with the
it's like,
76ers.
And I think Embiid is. I would be giving up a star for a B+ player and a pick with my fingers crossed. Nope.
would you trade Joel Embiid for Bam Adebayo?
Joel Embiid for Bam Adebayo? Ooh, that's a good question right there. Because Joel Embiid right now is better than Bam Adebayo, but Bam Adebayo, is a guy that is, improving every single season. He's been healthy, runs the floor well. Damn, that's a good one right there. I feel like long-term this would be worth it. I feel like short-term obviously was the question. If it was like Bam and maybe like a draft pick or one of the younger players like a Duncan Robinson or something like that, I think I would definitely pull the trigger. But let's assume it's just for next season. Just for next season, I'm not doing the trade. Long-term, though, it's not bad.
Adebayo.
No, we got to slow down on Bam.
Do we?
This is the first year that Bam averaged 25 minutes a game. Not points, just playing.
Yeah, I'm going to assume it's probably the first year that Joel Embiid also averaged 25 minutes per game, but the dude's always injured.
He averages 10 points, 8 rebounds. He's a nice player.
Is that
but
true?
He's an ascending player, but he's not close to a star yet.
What do you mean he's not?
Joel Embiid for Devin Booker.
I would trade the process. Yeah, I think here's the thing about Devin Booker. Now, we know he's a good scorer.
I'm going to say no because the Phoenix Suns wouldn't do it because they already got DeAndre Ayton, so yeah.
4 straight years with Devin Booker. 4 straight years. His shooting percentage has gone up. Now, what does that mean? He's taking better shots,
sure,
and he's making more of them. And let's be honest here.
And his teammates are getting better.
It has not necessarily been a well-run operation he was a star very early, and now he's getting better every year. Imagine if you put him in a situation where he's more comfortable. Can you imagine Ben Simmons driving and feeding Devin Booker? Oh, my God, I'd do it tomorrow. That may be one of the best ones. That would be – Phoenix would be –
it's not bad.
Philadelphia would be a high-end playoff team tomorrow if that happened.
Joel Embiid for Kyrie Irving.
Nah, trust the process.
Really?
Kyrie's hurt a lot.
But so is Joel Embiid. You can't use injuries as an excuse when you're talking about Joel Embiid. Although I will say, though, I would not do this trade because not because I'm not saying, like, well, Kyrie's always hurt himself. He's not a good player. Oh, no, I'm saying it because Kyrie is a very ball-centric guard. And if the ball's in Kyrie's hands, that means it's not in Ben Simmons' hands. And when you take the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands, a lot of his game kind of deteriorates at that point. And vice versa, because Kyrie refuses to play off ball. It would be an interesting combination, but I'm keeping Joel Embiid in this case. Just, I feel like the player fits much better.
And teams get better when he leaves. So I'm not on the Kyrie thing. I'm there's no reason to criticize him. I'm just out.
Does he fit better? Okay, but Kyrie Irving is still a star. Does he fit better with Ben Simmons?
I think stars
That's really what the question is here.
No,
he doesn't think so. I think you got 2 guys that want the ball, and one of them is a scorer and one of them is a shooter, and they get on each other's nerves, and Kyrie gets on a lot of players' nerves.
Joel Embiid for Chris Paul?
No. Hell no, man. Bro, Chris Paul's like 39. It should be like Joel Embiid for Shea Gilgeous. Like, nobody know Joel Embiid for CP3. I love CP3. Thunder's great and everything, man, but no way in hell am I doing this trade.
Love Chris Paul, but trust the process. Chris is 35. Also, Chris needs to have shooters around him. His game, he's a mid-range shooter, good defender, high IQ. He needs shooters around him.
All players need shooters around him, or it doesn't work out, really.
And Philadelphia just has this pattern of giving away all their best shooters. Of the many issues with Philadelphia, 3 years ago they had a roster full of shooters. Now they don't have any of them. So
and that's
they
the
drafted
issue.
Markelle Fultz, the only guard ever that can't shoot. So it's like all they're missing is Lonzo Ball. It'd be just perfect.
Damn.
Joel Embiid for James Harden?
Yes.
Oh, I would trade the process. Yeah.
Again,
Again,
%.
Ben Simmons driving to the basket, kicking it out to James Harden. Harden played actual defense this year, which I like because Simmons plays real defense.
I mean, I'm just doing this as James Harden's a better player, but also at the same time, I don't think the fit's exactly great. It's just another one of those cases where it's like, he gives you the imagination of Ben Simmons driving the basket, kick out James Harden, but James Harden doesn't play like that. Like, James Harden wants the ball in his hands, and once again, that's going to kind of negate Ben Simmons' game quite a bit.
And also, James is, in the last decade, he's the second best scorer in the NBA behind LeBron. And I would say, I even think of...
What about Kevin Durant? Kevin Durant might be the best natural scorer of all time. Like, literally scoring from anywhere and anyhow. But how do you not even mention Kevin Durant in that statement?
James is more offensive-minded than LeBron. I don't think he elevates people quite like LeBron. But, yeah, I would... If you get... That's straight trade in 1 second, yeah.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid for Russell Westbrook?
Ooh, hell no. Can you imagine Westbrook and Ben Simmons on the same team together?
No, I would trust the process. Again, I'll read you a stat here. Everybody thinks I pick on Westbrook. The Rockets have a better postseason net rating, +6, without Westbrook than during the regular season, +2.7. So, and also, Russell's sneaky old now. Russell is 32,
Bro.
And Russell keeps him.
Well, I'm 28. Is my sneaky old? I feel like I'm getting sneaky old at this point.
Himself in great shape, so he'll play. But
Sneaky old. What the hell does that
hyper-athletic
mean?
players age fast. Shooters The late Kobe Bryant scored 60 in his last game. A guy can shoot, he can shoot forever. It's like old quarterbacks always tell you, I can still throw.
Kobe just shoot like 50 shots
but
that
I can
game.
Throw. Troy Aikman could take a football today, go out in the back of Fox lot, and throw tight spirals. Shooters can shoot. Westbrook.
I bet you Ray Allen could shoot probably about 37% in the NBA right now.
A non-shooter, hyper-athletic, will not age as gracefully.
Joel Embiid for Paul George.
Trust the process.
Yeah, y'all see playoff pandemic, where the hell his name is these days? Playoff PP. I just read a stat, man. Something about like Paul George shooting like the worst over a course of like 3 playoff games since like the damn 60s. Not great.
Embiid was good in the playoffs. Paul George is not. That, listen, every player
Sums
has
it
a
up goodly.
reputation.
He is not.
Paul's has been all-star, fizzles in the postseason, and he has done nothing to help his reputation. He has been, so far, last 3 games, he's averaging 11 points. And that's on a roster where you got to keep your eye on Kawhi and double him and keep your eye on Lou Williams.
Yeah, he's been horrible.
So Paul's getting looks and is shooting 29%.
Okay, guys, that is the end of the video right there. Overall, like, if I was the 76ers, am I trading Joel Embiid? I mean, if the trade is absolutely 100% right, then yes, I would do it. But for the most part, I think that firing Brett Brown was a good step in the right direction. Hopefully Elton Brand's next. And it's like, I still don't feel Joel and Ben Simmons are the issues. I feel like it's the rest of the roster. So we'll see what happens going forward, man. But they got a lot of salary cap and a lot of not so great players. So maybe it will be a change like that to get things in the right direction. Who really knows, man? What y'all think? Let me know in the comment section below. And peace out, my friends.